If you're retired with super and you think you can just leave your money alone to grow, there's a rule that says otherwise. The moment your super pension starts, the government sets a minimum you must withdraw every year, and it doesn't care that you'd rather preserve capital. This catches millions of Australians on autopilot, and it's really two problems stacked together. Today, we'll fix them with 3 moves. Check your minimum, verify your account type, and model how long your super actually lasts. Here's the number that should make you sit up. The Super Members Council estimates a typical new retiree could miss out on around $136,000 over retirement, about $6,500 a year, because of complexity and decision paralysis, SMC 2024-25. But here's the part nobody tells you. Most of that isn't from the rule everyone worries about. So 3 moves, and each takes under 20 minutes. Check your minimum, verify your pension account type, and model how long your money lasts. Let's start with the first money leak: forced minimum drawdowns. Once a super income stream begins, the government sets a minimum annual payment as a percentage of your account balance on the 1st of July. And you must keep withdrawing at least that amount or the income stream can stop. Australian Super 2025. It's not a suggestion. It's a condition of the tax-free status. And that percentage climbs with age. For ages 65 to 74, it's 5%, rising to 6% at 75, 7 at 80, 9 at 85, 11 at 90, and 14% from 95. Australian Super 2025. So, a $500,000 pension at age 67 must pay out at least $25,000 that financial year, recalculated every 1st of July. The second layer is sneakier: decision paralysis at retirement. People delay or underspecify how to draw down their super and end up leaving money stranded, taking the wrong amount, or missing better settings for fees, investment mix, and income timing, SMC 2024-25. Most people fixate on the minimum rule and never look at the full picture. And that's where the real cost hides. The Super Members Council says this complexity can cost a typical new retiree $136,000 over retirement, roughly $6,500 a year, SMC 2024-25. You can comply perfectly with the minimum rule and still quietly lose a 5-figure share of your lifetime spending power. There's a popular myth that retirees underspend their super, so the danger is dying with too much left behind. But the Super Members Council found around 68% of tax-free retirement account holders withdrew above the minimum in 2024-25, rising to 81% for those with under $50,000. SMC 2024-25. The more immediate issue is poor setup, not universal underspending. So put the two costs side by side. The lifetime downside is around $136,000, or about $6,500 every year. SMC 2024-25. The minimum drawdown rule shapes your annual cash flow, and decision paralysis drains the rest. Let me show you how this plays out. Meet Margaret, 67, a retired school administrator with $620,000 in an account-based pension. She expects to rely on super for the next 23 years, and she's planning to be careful with it. Her first discovery: careful isn't a number she gets to choose. At 67, her minimum drawdown is 5%, so she must take at least $31,000 this year, not the whatever feels safe amount she had in mind. Australian Super 2025. The rule sets the floor, not her instinct. Her second discovery is bigger. A typical new retiree can lose up to $136,000 over retirement from poor transition decisions, SMC 2024-25. Far more than the income she thought she was saving by underspending. The money she's protecting on one side is leaking out the other. And the third discovery surprised her most. If her pension had started after the 1st of June, no payment would have been required in that financial year at all. Australian Super 2025. That's the opposite of the common assumption that every pension year begins with an immediate payment obligation. Add it all up for Margaret, and the combined downside sits in the vicinity of $136,000 from poor retirement setup, SMC 2024-25. That's an estimate from the Super Members Council's modelling of a typical new retiree. Not a guaranteed outcome for everyone, but a number worth taking seriously. So could this be you? You've never checked the minimum drawdown rate for your age, you don't know whether you're in a retirement or transition to retirement account, or you haven't modelled how long your super will actually last. If any of those ring true, the next 3 moves are for you. 3 moves. Let's do them. All free, all using government and fund tools you already have access to. Move 1. Check your minimum drawdown. Head to the Money Smart account-based pension calculator, enter your balance, expected returns and fees, and read off the minimum annual payment for your age. Then compare that figure with what you actually plan to withdraw. This is general information, not personal advice. 3 quick steps. Enter your balance, returns and fees, note the minimum payment shown for your age, then compare it against your planned withdrawals. Good looks like a withdrawal plan at or above the minimum, but deliberately matched to your spending and longevity. Move 2. Verify your pension type rules. Log into your fund's member portal or open the PDS and confirm whether you're in a retirement income account or a transition to retirement account. It matters because a TTR account has a 10% maximum, while a retirement income account has none. Australian Super 2025. Log in and find income payments or retirement income. Identify your account type, then check whether a 10% maximum applies. Good looks like no accidental breach of your fund's payment limits, with a schedule aligned to your account type. Move 3. Model how long your super lasts. Back in the Money Smart calculator, run one scenario at the minimum rate and another at a higher rate that matches your real spending plan. Then compare the projected end balance and how long your income holds out. Run the minimum rate scenario, run a higher rate scenario matching your spending, then compare the end balance and income longevity. Good looks like a plan that's sustainable across retirement and doesn't unintentionally exhaust the account too early. Why act now? Back in 2019-20, minimum drawdown rates were temporarily halved as COVID relief, so the rules clearly do move. In 2024 and 25, 68% of tax-free account holders were already withdrawing above minimums, SMC 2024-25, and from the 1st of July 2026, the transfer balance cap rises to $2.1 million for new retirement phase income streams, ATO. Your minimum is set by your age at the 1st of July, so it must be rechecked every single year. After you act, here's how you know it worked. You should see your age-based minimum clearly on the calculator. You can confirm your account type and any payment maximum match your plan. And if a scenario runs dry too early, you've adjusted the rate before locking it in. Everything here comes from Australian Super, the Super Members Council, Money Smart, and the ATO. All the links are below this video so you can check the numbers yourself. So now you know the minimum isn't optional, your account type sets the limits, and modelling beats guessing. Next week, we're unpacking the 2026 transfer balance cap rise and who actually benefits. If this saved you from drawing your super on autopilot, subscribe. We read the fine print so you don't have to. One video a week, no jargon, no sales pitch.